thing. Kofi's child, who is very healthy.
KOFI TV. KOFI TV.
You keep building atherosclerosis. So this is your blood vessel. This is your artery. But the problem we have as human beings is that we don't care what goes on. Making sure it is gone. Do you see what goes on the inside?
KOFI TV.
So my child carries on and carries on and carries on. And eventually the blood flow to the arteries will be narrowed. So when it's narrowed, sometimes you do have pain. It's called angina pain. When you are there, it's like, oh, and the pain is gone and you feel better. In UK here, when you have angina pain, they give you what we call GTN spray, isn't it? You spray it under your tongue. What GTN spray does is that it's not the cure for atherosclerosis. It causes vasodilation. So it causes your blood vessels to open, so the blood can flow through quite successfully, and eventually it just closes back again. And then you have the same angina pain again. As you carry on for a very long time, sometimes even at the age of 35 years old, this can totally block. And when it blocks, this is what you call heart attack. It means that the blood vessel that is supplying your heart with oxygen and nutrient, the artery itself is totally blocked. And our heart is made of 4 chambers, isn't it? And our heart works on electricity, you know that? Our heart, it works on electricity. It's called SAN node. So if this is the bit that is broken, that means the heart needs to beat to synchronize from the bottom to the top before it works properly. Because portion of it is broken, it will not be able to work properly. Have you seen? So this is what heart attack is. Heart attack is mainly created, even some of us, by our parents. As I said, mine was created when I was young already. My mother used to feed us. She used to give us 3 tier. So silver, there's what the contemporary stew, there's even sometimes she puts yam on top of it. And we take it to school and eat. That was our atherosclerosis. We can love our children. This education, the government needs to provide it for people out there, isn't it? It's the government's responsibility. In UK here, it's the government's responsibility to educate the people. The government educate the nurses, so when you come to the hospital, then I can educate you about atherosclerosis. I can tell you about it because that's my job. When you're a nurse, but how many of our nurses really teaches anybody anything? They do have time. They just cannot be bothered. That is the difference. Please, let's teach people how to look after themselves and how also to make money. This person making this can be a very rich. I'm sure the person is very, very rich. Sorry. Yes. So guys, I have a few things to say before we go. We just wanted to look quickly at the Ghana National Anthem, okay? Before we go, because I'm interested in this. I found out this from the internet. I did a bit of research that the Ghana National Anthem itself, there was one that was written and it was discarded before the other one was written. Do you know that? I didn't know that. Thank you. And this is what it says. So this is what the Kwame Nkrumahs and the people that had a good vision for Ghana, this is what they taught for us at the beginning. So, sorry guys, I don't know if I should say I'm a Christian or not because it's Muslim and I play both sides. I'm in the middle. I play both sides. And this is the most important thing to me. It says, may we unite together. Are we united as people? We are so individualist, isn't it? This is me. And this is the way I do things. Nobody else matters. But remember that your daughter or your child is not a doctor. Your child is not a nurse. Your child doesn't build roads. It's not a construction. It's not an engineer, isn't it? The day that you want to do your own thing and don't include anybody and just look after your children, make sure that you have 12 children and each of your child has that occupation, even building hospitals and also having your own defibrillators in there, because when you have a cardiac arrest, who will bring the defibrillator will not be your child, isn't it? So this is what they thought for us from the beginning. And what did we do with it? And our Ghana National Anthem, everybody sings up to here, isn't it? Anybody who can sing? God bless her. Yeah, let's go on. And
Ever the cause of freedom and right. Fill our heart with true humility. Make us serve prayers all night. And help us to resist possession. God our will and mighty forevermore.
Did we understand it, or we're like the regular people that sing? And nothing, we come off the kind of jazz doesn't matter anymore. That's how we are. It says what? Great and strong. How many strong people we have in this room? There's a strong one that we can see here today. And this man, sorry. How many strong men do we have in this room? Oh, my friend, we are just strong, but you can't fight me. But we had a man that has advocated for us to come together today. I have seen a strong man in here. He doesn't know me, but I've watched a video of yours as well. You. I don't know your name, but I've seen a video of you. So there's few strong men, but the rest of you, unless you do Facebook Live, I don't know you. Have you seen the oppressor? Is there any oppressor anymore? The oppressor is ourselves, isn't it? But at that time, they were talking about somebody else. But now we have learned to be the oppressors. But we are still blaming other people for our own mistakes, isn't it? If my mother decides to sell me to somebody else, do I blame the person in future? Or I blame my mother for selling me? Let's go to the next verse of it. Anybody knows this bit? Go on and say, help us. Hail.
Hail to the name of Ghana. Today we make our psalm vow to understand a nation strong in unity. You are your man.
You see, that was just a trick. But we finished, isn't it? That means we don't know what our country means to us. We don't even know. Let's go home and analyze. Who is the blessed? This is blessed Ghana. What is the blessed? The one that we on, we shit on, we do anything to it. It's not the blessed. Let's go to the next one. No, up again. Sorry, one more time. Okay, that's fine. Let's look at this before we go. Ghana had independence is when? Ghana is 62 years old, isn't it? The Ghana life expectancy is 63. So literally, if Ghana was a man, he has 1 year to die, isn't it? Let's make it a man, because the men, they talk too much. They're fool. Let's kill the men. So you see, if Ghana... sorry, the men are fufu. I'm not joking. But if Ghana was a man, he has 1 year to die, isn't it? Because this is the life expectancy that we are told. So let's go down again. Hey, no, Ghana is a man. Leave it alone. But you see, the life expectancy of women is a bit better than the men, isn't it? Okay, next one, darling. No, quickly. Okay, so have you seen, if Ghana was a man, by now we are getting the coffin. I'm sure that lots of people die before the age of 48 than anything else. So Ghana would have been like this by now. The country that we live in, the country is not helping us in any way, neither are we helping the country. But let's look at our leaders that are above the age of 63 are still in power, doing unnecessary things. This is the most common disease in elderly people. Most of them have cardiovascular diseases. They are going to die, isn't it? But they are still not going anywhere so the young can take over and run with the country. You see, stroke. Most of them have stroke. They come to UK here, take a bit of apixaban, they take warfarin, they get better, they go. They don't take the treatment in Ghana, you know that. And they go and they're walking a bit like this. They don't say there's anything wrong with them. They pretend nothing has happened. Lots of them have arthritis. They can't even run. They can't drive. They need drivers, expensive, costing us a lot of money. High blood pressure. Lots of them cannot see anything. They are blind. Who is telling us that the sun in Ghana, too much sunlight directly on our eyes, makes us blind? Who is telling us that? Okay? Cancers, diabetes. This is the bit that I like. Parkinson's disease. And the next one is Dementia. Most of our leaders have got dementia. When you tell them something, they spin around their fish. 2 seconds, they forget. But these are the people that we are voting for. Instead of voting for somebody who has a fresh mind to do something fun. Nobody can avoid it. Please, let's stop following these dementia people. People that are about to die, they want to will properties to their own children, so their children will do well. And our family members will do bad. Let's stop following them. Let's stop. Me, I came to England here, and England has done more for me than my country, Ghana, has done for me. Yes, I had my child when I was 14 years, going 15 years old. When I had my child, I wasn't allowed to go to school. I wasn't. And when I wasn't allowed to go to school, guys, I came to England, I was allowed into school. Do you know how many degrees I did before? I taught you if you do psychology, become a psychologist. So I did, and you don't become a psychologist. Don't deceive yourself. Don't do it. Yes, I even tried that. I got degrees, I just tried it. And they told me, after I finished, they said, you're not a psychologist. I said, okay, that's shocking. But that is England. They did not deprive me from education just because. And today I am doing better. I have a designer life. I keep telling people it's a lie. Don't listen to me. But I do have a very good life. And it's all because of England. Let's take this seriously. Let's apply it to our country. Thank you.
Thank you, my very good friend. Thank you, guys. Those that just came in, okay, I'll leave that one for now. We'll do that one later. I'm going to call on our very own brother, Abeiku Santana. I just saw him and I said, is that, they look different when you see them. Mm-hmm. He looks a little bit chubby, like I said, oh, that's Abeiku Santana. So I'm going to call on Abeiku to come and tell us something just a little bit, then I call on my brother, Kwame.
All right, thank you for having me, and good afternoon to you all. I am super excited to be here. 8 months ago, I met Kwame A+ here, and I personally proposed to him that I would join the campaign Is it on? Okay. So once again, thank you for having me. I personally proposed to A+ that I would join the campaign for us to raise the awareness for Ghanaians to appreciate what we have to do. Now, we are in the country where the forward march of our country took place. That is this place. In 1917, the black West African nationals, that is West Africans who had scholarship, educational scholarship to come here, came together. And that is where they mooted the idea of fighting for independence in West Africa. Namzi Azikiwe, J.B. Dankwa, Kwame Nkrumah, and a host of others from other West African countries. They formed the National Council for Black West African Nationals here. Now, upon returning to their country, they had a plan, they had the agenda. So I'm super excited. It looks like that thing that happened in 1917 is happening today. And we here today are going to be the founding members of the TPP. Now, as a human institution as it is, somewhere along the line, they broke up. Even in 1919 to 1921, when the first nationalistic movement in our country was formed, the Aboriginal Right Protection Society, they came here to, as it were, come and negotiate with the Queen about some laws and some, bills that they were passing, especially the bills concerning the national reserves. When they got here, when the ARPC, got here, the Castle Hayford and the rest, they broke up. So as a human institution as it is, as we move along, some will fall off. They will fall off because they will not believe in the vision and the ideals. Even with the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, when they formed it, some also fell off. Even with Nkrumah, they fell off. Even with the UP, some fell off. We had the UFP, we had the PNC, we had the NLM. So, as a human institution, but it is the strong that will stand and survive. So what we are doing is not fighting for political power. A healthy nation is a nation that its people's mind are developed so that they become wealthy. Not health in terms of, physical health, but we're talking about the mental wellness. We're sick, and we're not admitting that we're sick. We are damn sick. We're sick because there is a perennial catastrophe from rainfall every year. May, June is major rain season. It rains in Accra, and we see people dying, flooding. Every year, when there's an epidemic outbreak, people are dying. We don't have forums or fora that talks about these issues. So TPP is going to be an advocacy that is going to empower people that, one, believe in yourself. Two, do something for yourself. Three, don't depend on the politician. Because if you want the best and the fastest job that can make you rich, that is politician. Now you can check from the background of every politician that you know in Ghana what they were doing before and after they became politicians. And that is why a lot of young people are all going into politics, because they know that that is the fastest avenue for you to make money. Now in our country, because our people are sick, when I say sick, sick in the mind, anybody who can speak good English, an orator or slang, they'll just clap. Yeah! whether the person is making sense or not. Now, it's also sad to note that even Ghanaians who have had education, higher education from the developed countries, knows the deficiency of our system. And they come back, they lie to them that I work at IBM, I've worked with Apple, I've done that, I have a background in finance with HSBC, and blah, 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 blah. Now they say, oh, okay. Now, 30 to 40% of government appointees once live in developed countries, Europe and America. And they are there contributing to the canker. Because the people are sick. The people are sick, that is why they are attacking A+ for coming out with such an initiative. Because they don't understand. They are saying that, are you not NDC? Are you not MPP guy? Weren't you the guys who were supporting them? I say, yes. But the time has come for us to enlighten ourselves. So we are here not as political pundits. We are here not as political stooges. We are here to tell ourselves that, look, we want to change the status quo. We want to challenge the system. As our national anthem states, we shall resist. So anything that will not give us our freedom, any policy that will not go well with us, anything that is not right, we have the right to speak against it. It doesn't make us politicians. Now, what is politics? Politics is a system that is run for people. The people is the universal set. Public is a subset. And politics is a system that people run with ideas. Why can't we have a country where programs and system will run? But because of partisan, parochial, political interest, we don't have any sustainable programs running in our country. Let's take education, for instance. In 1987, the first major educational reform happened. Moving from the ordinary level education, from the middle school living certificate education, the British educational system that we had run for some time, and came to the junior secondary school. Now, this was a reform that seeks to equip, students with technical skills. Now, we had a policy, a program like this without the infrastructure and the resources. So if you go to a whole junior secondary school stream, Form 1 to Form 3, they had one saw blade, just one. And they were teaching them technical skills. They have to do interns and badges. Some did not even have a chance to even hold a saw to cut a wood. Vocational skills, same. They didn't have cooking utensils. They didn't have the logistics to teach them. And even as we speak, there are institutions in Ghana teaching hospitality on blackboard. And you go to restaurants, you go to hotels, and the services are poor. And we don't have a system. We don't have people who are, healthy in the mind to tell our system that something is wrong with us. And this is what I call the paradox of our time. It is hard truth, but we can't accept it. This is the truth, but we don't want to accept it. People are graduating from the universities and they cannot even write letters. They cannot develop business ideas. People are studying entrepreneurship, and when they graduate, they join unemployment, graduate association, and ask for government. It is because the people are sick. So the selfish politicians are telling them that, believe in me, just vote for me, put your hope in me, I will change your life. When you put your hands in your pocket, do you get money? Say, no, I will put money in your pocket. I am going to put money in your pocket. But because we are sick, we are not able to ask them how. Because we are coming from a certain cultural background that you cannot challenge the elderly person. When you're speaking to the elderly person, put your hands at your. It means that you have totally surrendered your mind. But I'm a parent. I have an 18-year-old son. He saw me with Nikon P1000 camera and said, Dad, are you good at photography? I said, why do you ask that? So I know you're a busy man. I've been taking shots. I said, I've never seen you. So, give me, let me show you something. My son took the camera. He took the camera from me. And I had to send him to photo store at Accra Mall to undergo training. He's yet to go to uni. I'm sending him to KFC to go and learn customer service. I've given him a tool that, look, get this iMac 5, iCore 5, and get this camera. Whilst you are in the university, learn graphic designing, do something for yourself so that you don't depend on me. I told my son that you're going to KFC to learn customer service so that you know how to deal or handle difficult people. Is that the culture? Is that the system? Is that how our system is being run? Politicians are telling us, they are promising us heaven. We'll do everything. So the dependency ratio in our country is so high. It's because the people are gullible. So they believe everything that you tell them. And that is why if you become a political appointee, your family is also looking up to, hey, now if I won't why will be a one in Crawford of a boy. Of a two better now, sir. Of our better now, sir. Of a boy. So when is it going to get to our turn? When we have such a system of dependency, higher dependency system, it means that even the few, fortunate people who are appointed to positions, when they get there, because of that culture of dependency, their family is putting pressure on him. Friends are putting pressure on him, then the societal pressure is also on him. Now, as human as he or she may be, they cannot meet all those demands, but they will try to satisfy their friends. And that is why you are seeing sale of contracts to family and friends. That's why you're seeing business going to family and friends. So then, as a family, we should fight and get into the political stream so that when you get there, you also come and help us. Now we have siblings who belong to NDC and MPP, and they are all MPs, and they go and they fight so that when our party win, you take care of the family. You two, if you go to Benin, there are more than 23 political parties. Every family is also forming a political party because once you get power, you take care of your family people, not the nation. So, from my understanding and the appreciation that I have from the TPP is to raise our awareness, is to conscientize people that we need to help ourselves. If Indians are helping themselves here and Jews are helping themselves, we can start that with TPP. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother, Abeiku Santana. Well, Abeiku said something. Yesterday, I did a video and then about for Kennedy, the member of parliament, Kennedy Japan, because I saw a video, an audio about him saying something that the documentary that Manasseh Azuri did is false. Manasseh Azuri is corrupt. So I came on Facebook and then I said, this man has been in Parliament House from 96 till date. I dare him that, come out and tell us what you've done for the youth. I wake up this morning, somebody in Canada sent me a message. You are a woman, a byproduct. Keep quiet and your husband will love you. Who are you to challenge honorable, that's what he said, honorable Kennedy Japan. I'm like, you see, that is the mindset that I spoke about earlier on. The mindset. It's an opinion. I disagree with what he's saying. We will always agree to disagree. But we come from a culture of, no. Shut up because you are a woman. No. I am a human being. I have an opinion. Yeah? So I have something to say. It is democracy. Power to the people, by the people, for the people. I have something to say. So now this guy lives in Canada. Ghanaian living in Canada, a Western world, telling me, shut up, you are a woman. I'm a byproduct. And my husband will love me. You see? And that is a mindset. So that's why I strongly disagree with anybody that talks about the mindset. We have to work on ourselves individually. We're going to ask our brother Kwame A+ to come on. So, as Kwame is coming on, please prepare yourself, prepare your questions and everything. I don't want you to do that thing that, oh, I don't want to ask Kwame A+. And you have to ask questions. I love asking questions here. That's why I named myself the 21st Century Asantua. So, Blessed Mandy, that's me. So you have to ask questions. If you have any doubt, let it flow. So, my brother Kwame A+, you're welcome.
Boss. Yeah. Okay, good evening to all of you, and thank you so much for coming. I am very happy to bring to you warm greetings from TPP members across the world. This TPP movement is something that was conceived by myself some years ago. And after consulting the most important powers in my life, God and my friends on social media, we together thought through it and gave birth to what we are experiencing today. It may interest you to know that though we do not have a headquarters building, we do not have official cars, we do not have financiers, we do not have communicators on radio and TV, we have not run a single advert in any electronic or print media. We have been able to set up many strong branches which meet periodically to share ideas like we are doing now on how to move Ghana forward, on youth development, and on charity. It is therefore without doubt that TPP is a typical example of it is not where you are or who you are or what you are, but what you hope to achieve. As the saying goes, a bad workman complains about his tools, but where there is a will, there is always a way. I am therefore excited to announce to you that without the aforesaid vital logistics, we have managed to establish 531 branches of this movement worldwide. I would also like to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to members and representatives of TPP Kuwait, TPP UAE, TPP Qatar, TPP Bolgatanga, TPP France, TPP UK, my all-night chatting people, TPP Aguna Swedro, Holland, Iceland, Libya, Abidjan, Amasaman Pokuase, Medina, Adenta, La Paz, Odoko, Belgium, Italy, TPP Eastern, Western, Awoshi, Nungwa, East Legon, Central Region, Ashanti Region, Volta Region, just to mention a few. In October of 1945, some visionary African leaders realized that European powers were decimated and disoriented by the tides of death and destruction by the Second World War. About 90 smart people, 90 of them, representing 50 different organizations all throughout Africa and the Caribbean, took advantage of this and met in Manchester for the 5th Pan-African Congress. With one voice, they demanded the total liberation of the entire African continent. These people included people like Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana, Obafemi Awolowo, who played a key role in Nigeria's independence struggle, Jomo Kenyatta, who later became president of Kenya, Marcus Garvey's wife, etc., etc. These visionary Africans, without internet and social media, without mobile phones, went back to their various countries and fought for the freedom the entire continent enjoys today. I strongly believe that if Kwame Nkrumah had just WhatsApp, he and other Pan-Africans would have succeeded in uniting the entire African continent. Without Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, email, landlines, mobile phones, etc., and transportation, good roads, Kwame Nkrumah and a group of ambitious and courageous people were able to reach out to every person across the length and breadth of the Gold Coast to support and demand an end to colonial rule. Kwame Nkrumah, without any of the aforementioned, set out a plan or prepared a better Ghana for the people who rule Ghana today. He ensured that university students had a room to themselves. He ensured that they had vacation jobs. He ensured that they had tea breaks, like 4 o'clock, everybody go and take tea. These guys who are running Ghana today were pampered. He even ensured that they had beer allowance. Like, take money. You see, the country loves you so much that they say, take money and go and drink beer. He also began the process of making decent accommodation a fundamental human right by building many estates across Ghana. Unfortunately, those who enjoyed under Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah failed to reciprocate the love and care they received. They are all greedy people who come under the guise of dying to help the poor and underprivileged or make better plans for us and the next generation, but end up successfully planning for themselves and their families. My people, isn't it sad, therefore, that after our founding fathers who did not even have FM radios fought and died for the freedom that we enjoy today for the next generation, without the technology that we have today, we are so scared to fight with this technology for basic things like street lights on the motorway, oxygen in our hospitals, beds in our hospitals. We cannot speak out. We cannot ask. Isn't it sad? The good news is that not all of us are cowards, And so I have come here today with a message from brave, objective, and patriotic Ghanaians in one hand, and the love for our beautiful country Ghana in my heart. This message will make you happy. It is a message which gives hope to those who have cried to see an end to dishonesty and self-seeking politicians running our dear lives for 62 years. This message will make the evil, dishonest nation wrecker very angry. I have come here today to deliver a message which sounds like music to the ears of the opposition, but will fill the heart of the same people with rage when given power. Because as we are all aware, the Ghanaian politician is only wise and objective in opposition. Just like when the MPP was in opposition, Kwame A+ is the NDC's hero today. They are happily dancing to the tunes of my many attacks and criticisms of the government of the day, but will despite the dance floor and the DJ tomorrow and come out naked to stop that same music if they hear it under the showers of power. You see, no matter how this message makes the evil nation wrecker feel, it must and shall be delivered. The message is very simple. Ghanaians are tired of both NDC and NPP and demand a change. Not the change we see all the time which leads us nowhere, but a real change that leads us to prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, look into my mind's eye and you will notice that it is clouded with anger. Though freedom and justice is our motto, many Ghanaians live in fear and sorrow. Unfortunately, the passion to put Ghana back on track is gradually overcoming the fear of the price we shall pay in this struggle. Every TPP member is fully aware of the consequences. We know we must fight day and night to achieve a better Ghana. Regardless, we are determined than ever to change the story, and not even the fear of death can stop us. Philip Beho, in his wisdom, prayed in our national anthem that God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Those who approved our national anthem were conscious of the fact that without brave men and women, there was no way Ghana would ever be great and the land of the free. That is why they asked God Almighty to help us to resist the oppressor's rule with all our will and might. They say lateness is better than never. And I believe in Ghana today than ever. I believe that though our beautiful, beloved country has been left far behind by her peers, with honesty, selflessness, integrity, fairness, common sense, we shall surely catch up and even overtake countries like Malaysia and Singapore. Today, I am here to make it clear to every TPP member that though we are a non-violent organization which entreats Ghanaians to love each other, one very essential ingredient in achieving a better Ghana is to have the courage to be enemies with enemies of our country, no matter what we may suffer. Though the People's Project is my idea, there is no Ghanaian who can single-handedly change Ghana. I am therefore here today to formally invite all well-meaning Ghanaians to join this movement, which has shown signs of having potentials to force our leaders to do the right thing and move Ghana to the level we have all been crying for. I must also state clearly that TPP is not a political party. TPP is a movement which is interested in, one, the promotion of citizens' participation and engagement in our democratic and governance process, demand accountability, transparency, and responsibility from government and government officials, promote the development and implementation of inclusive and sustainable policies and programs, and facilitate the implementation of pro-poor programs and initiatives that for every low-income community in Ghana. Our decision not to form a political party is a well-thought-out and strategic one. You see, we are very conscious of how difficult it will be to remove the two mafias, NDC and MPP, from power. No, just cut it, don't worry. We are all very much aware of what it takes. Sorry, just a minute. Is it working for you? Let me help you. We are very conscious of how difficult it will be to remove the two mafias from power, both NDC and MPP. It is therefore wise to force them to share power with us, at least for a start. If you go today that you want to form a party, you will waste money and you will lose. But we can force them to share power with us, at least for a start. If we have 1 million or 2 members, and they have 3 million members, and they need our support to be able to win an election, that is what is called a coalition government. That will be the only time we can make demands. When the politician is desperate, you can ask them to say or do anything, and they will say and do it louder than you expect. If we can put many people together, we can demand 2 main things: a new constitution, which will end, amongst other things, ex gratia, and a 20-year plan for Ghana. Not just a plan on paper like they did, and they did with Vision 2020, which they didn't know that 2020 is next year. But a plan that will be taken to Parliament and made law. Our beloved country, Ghana, is blessed with huge deposits of natural resources. And thankfully, we've got new revenue sources. Some 62 years ago, we marshaled all our forces, waved goodbye to our colonial masters, and proclaimed the might and will of the black man. We boasted of how capable we could manage our own affairs if given the opportunity. Today, after changing governments like musical chairs, it would have been heartwarming to stand with you to review our success story and dissect our achievements as a country and the journey so far post-independence. But sorry, that is not the story. Isn't it sad that 62 years after Ghana lit a torch that beamed the hope of prosperity and pride through Africa and the black race across the globe, we have failed woefully that I have to come here today with you to promise Ghanaians another future? If we could not create a future in 62 years, where is the next future? What happened to us? Where did we go wrong as a people? How did our shades get so dirty that our lights stopped shining? How did Ghana, a powerful cutting machine, sit unconcerned and watch its blades go blunt? Who steered this beautiful vehicle into this direction of hopelessness? That notwithstanding, I still believe there is hope for Ghana and the narrative can still be changed. After 62 years of wasted opportunities, Ghana has once again been blessed with another golden generation of young, energetic, and talented people who, with the right leadership, the right attitude, the right mindset, the right skills, and all the right rights, can rewrite the future, rewrite the wrongs, and make this nation great, better, and strong. Today's leaders are very heartless. Trust me. There is a special place in hell for people who follow and support them for their personal interest. These leaders are aware of the horrible situations our hospitals are in. They are aware of how patients die daily in emergency situations. These leaders hear daily stories of avoidable death, yet they take advantage of the wailings of mothers, the cries of dying babies and babies in pain, the tears of fathers who look on helplessly as they lose their children, the pain of dying men, the depression and anxiety of terminally ill persons who have resigned to fate and only waiting to die. They take advantage of all of these people just to enrich themselves. They come under the guise of wanting to save Ghana, but will fiercely fight and oppose anybody who attempts opening a savings account for Ghana. They prefer to safeguard a business and political party than a life. When I face such people, I do it without any reservation or fear of losing business opportunities and friends. In Ghana, the most difficult person to be is a morally upright person. People you trust and hold in high esteem will disappoint you. When you express your disappointment, they try to bring you down. But listen, posterity will judge us all. Just do what is right, be objective, never allow your good name to rest in peace so long as it is for the right reason. Stories will be thrown in the media just to distort facts and make you lose credibility. Stories will be planted in the media to taint your integrity. When you tell them that their cup is dirty, instead of washing their dirty cup for their own health and safety, they go about trying to find your dirty spoon, if any. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be afraid of these politicians. The idea is to shut everybody up to allow them enjoy a field day. Those who promise you freedom of expression and tax you to be citizens and not spectators are not different. But whether we are citizens or spectators, we shall not shut up. Spectators do not shut up in the stadium. They cheer when need be. They criticize. They follow the game with keen interest. So we will be citizens and spectators at the same time. Our founding fathers built this country on the foundation of freedom and justice, and nobody must be allowed to deny us our right to free speech just because we are carrying them in the palanquin of power. This generation gives me hope. I believe that a day is coming when the people will rise up and take their country back from confidence tricksters parading as politicians without fear of losing opportunities and friends, and not even the fear of arrest, imprisonment, or death can stop them. I strongly believe that a revolution is happening and will be evident very soon. Oh yes, I believe. I believe that this revolution will turn off the negative switch that has gotten us where we are and turn on the positive one for a brighter future. I believe this revolution has started on an individual level. Listening and reading the perspective of young Ghanaians about our country on social media, I believe majority of them have reassessed themselves, re-evaluated the average Ghanaian politician. I believe that they have taken a second look at things and will not vote for leaders based on their religious, political, or sectorial sympathies. How long they have been in power, how tall or short a candidate is, how handsome or ugly they appear, or on grounds of gender. I believe that this revolution will be very peaceful and law-abiding, which is very important to our cause. I believe this revolution will not be motivated by envy, hatred, bitterness, personal interest, or greed, but one that seeks the interest of all, including the unborn. One that makes us patriotic Ghanaians hate evil nation wreckers, and the evil nation wrecker bow down to the morally upright one, and not vice versa. I believe that very soon there will be a revolution that makes all of us naturally generous towards righteousness and build a generation of Ghanaians who love each other mutually and help each other naturally to attain happiness collectively. What is happening today is that a united minority, NDC and MPP, takes turns to rule and take advantage of a divided majority, the people. It is time we came together to change this. The majority must unite. The majority must come together and fight for our future without fear. We are not fearless, but fear must not stop us from taking our destiny into our own hands. I believe that very soon the people will rise up legally against the establishment without the fear of criticism and insults from conformists, bootlickers, and propagandists who have mastered the art of lying through their teeth on behalf of enemies of the state to make ends meet. I call them 20 Ghana screenshot-taking foot soldiers. I believe that the people, motivated by the explicit instruction given to us by our founding fathers to resist the oppressor's rule, with all our will and might will rise up and put an end to the shameful situation we find ourselves in after 62 years of being the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence. Yes, I believe that the people will rise up without the fear of armies and will be driven by the love for God and country and passion and desire to leave a better Ghana for our children and our children's children and even the unborn. I believe that the people will rise up and choose their leaders based on performance and not on grounds of calculated lies from confident political tricksters and self-seeking individuals who have for 62 years played on the ignorance of the same poor people they usually promise heaven, but mostly end up delivering hell. It is so shameful that even children have realized the extent to which dishonesty has eaten into our system. Our political leaders are always wise in opposition with superior arguments and analysis. They present themselves as the saints and saviors of the state until they gain power, only to come back and follow the same tradition or worse and return us to square one. This tradition of talking their way to power but doing worse than their predecessors has lived with us since time immemorial. The NDC, NPP, 8 years, Sakawa double track system is just a game that must end now. This is what I'm urging you to join me fight and put an end to. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a member of any political party. But there is everything wrong with allowing your affiliation to mold you into a conformist who accepts everything from our political favorites, even if we know deep down our hearts that it is wrong. Our understanding of right and wrong must not be based on where we stand on the political divide. It must be based on how it affects that kid who, as we speak, is learning under a tree in this day and age. It must be based on how it affects that person who is dying in an accident because of bad roads and lack of emergency services. It must be based on our desire to bring an end to people drinking water from the same pond with animals. It must be based on how we can help that sick man sitting in a wheelchair who has been turned away by many hospitals because of the lack of beds. It must be based on how it affects the next generation. It must be based on our desire to leave a better Ghana than we found it. Every good citizen thinks about the next generation and not the next election. Every good citizen defends the country all the time and their party when they deserve it. As I have said earlier, we must never consider ourselves fearless, but never shall we allow fear to stop us from doing our part to make Ghana great. I sleep and wake up every day in fear. Most of you call me and say, Kwame, you have to look at your security. I hear that every day. In fact, I've looked in over my shoulder many times than I've looked into my driving mirror. I know hatred for the truth by name and face. I have seen it up close and personal. I am very conscious of the fact that anything can happen at any time. But I prefer to die on my feet in a battle against oppression, deceit, dishonesty, and lies to make Ghana great than to live on my knees for my personal interest. Even if we die, somebody must take over. The movement must not die. The movement must continue until the average Ghanaian wins the battle against leadership flaws and political dishonesty. The movement must live on until we gain access to social amenities like hospital beds, street lights, clean water, roads, ambulance, amongst others that we have been fighting for. My friend the poet Ramsoni said, and I quote, "They say every project is in the pipeline. Plans are far advanced. Measures are being taken, but they always fail to plan in advance, to take measures, to clear the projects in the pipeline, to allow a free flow of development." Ladies and gentlemen, no matter what they do, this generation must not lose hope or become a timid one. Nothing must stop us from ensuring that no child goes to bed hungry in a country blessed with abundant resources, including fertile land and fresh water. Isn't it pathetic that our worst parts of soil fertility is at par or even better than the most fertile farmlands in Burkina Faso, yet we keep importing vegetables from the same people? Don't you feel a sense of anger as a citizen of a nation that imports day-old chicks from Holland after 62 years of independence? Isn't it ridiculous how we claim to be the gateway to Africa, yet cannot boast of a single functioning national airline, whilst country like Namibia, with a population of 2 million, have about 20? The only plane we have was turned into a restaurant. Even that restaurant is another issue for another day. The gates must be changed and the keys given to the citizens. Aren't you saddened that in this 21st century, when other human beings have landed people on the moon and are planning Mars missions and space forces, our topmost priority is to build a cathedral and expand a chamber? At a time when women give birth on the floor and people drink dirty water like ducks. Unfortunately, the rather educated few and the media who are expected to champion the national building agenda and stay true to their allegiance to the nation are autopiloting their loyalties to these same political tricksters. Today, we are declaring an end to the era of campaigns and sweet talks to win elections, and replace it with a new era of bonds where we come together and demand development when agreed on will be put on paper and signed before we vote. Our demands for 2020 are very simple and realistic. We want a 20-year plan for Ghana. A plan which will be sent to Parliament and made law that would require a certain majority to change any part of it. A plan that will focus mainly on human development. A plan that will clearly state what name is given to the seat of government, Flagstaff House or Golden Jubilee House. A plan which will clearly tell how many years it takes to complete secondary school. A plan which will bring an end to NDC and MPP spending huge sums of taxpayers' money to print new Ghana cedi notes whenever they win power. In Ghana, when NDC comes to power, they want to remove the cocoa and put cashew. MPP comes, they want to remove the cashew and put double. We want to bring an end to that era where every government wants to redesign the Ghana cedi. It costs too much money to redesign and print new notes and destroy the old ones. Which sensible people take their money, print new notes, and destroy the old ones, and keep doing the same thing? We are looking for a plan which will clearly state what days should be celebrated as holidays in Ghana. When you plan with your girlfriend or your wife that you are going on a holiday next year this time, if you are not careful and NDC MPP power changes, you have to change your plans because NDC have their own holidays and MPP have their own holidays. We need a plan which tells if Ghana has a founder or there are founders of Ghana. Today, MPP is in power and they want us to include JB Danko and others. Tomorrow, NDC comes to power, and Ghana's founder is Kwame Nkrumah. Which is which? We must also demand a new constitution. A constitution that will end, amongst other things, ex gratia. It does not make sense for a few people to come together, retire every 4 years, take huge sums of ex gratia, start again the next morning, whilst our parents, our family members, ourselves, retire once in 20, 25, 30, 40 years. A constitution which will end ex gratia is something that we are demanding for 2020 before we vote. This current constitution is a very bad one, which gives the so-called big men the freedom to engage in illegalities and get away with it, whilst the poor cassava thief, goat thief, and one row weed smoker rots in jail. TPP is a movement that is putting together many votes for any party which will accept our demands and want to develop Ghana. Forget about putting together a campaign team for 2020 elections. We are your campaign team. We have the support of the people. We will give you 1 million+ votes. Just that. Terms and conditions apply. Our terms and conditions are very simple. If you want our 1 million+ votes, come and let's sign an agreement that you will do all the aforesaid for the country and the people. The signing of this agreement will be done at the Independence Square before the people and the media. A copy of this agreement will be given to the Asantehene, Otumfuo Setutu. A copy will be given to the Ochehene. Or a copy will be given to the Gamanche. A copy will be given to all prominent chiefs, to the Yana, to Tobesre, to Osabere Makwesiata, to all charismatic and Pentecostal leaders in our country. A copy shall be given to the National Chief Imam. A copy shall be given to the Christian Council of Ghana. A copy shall be given to the US government, to the British government, to the Japanese government, to the Chinese government, to the German government, to the EU, to the African Union, to the Commonwealth, to the Russian government, and the United Nations, amongst others. This agreement shall state that for the first time in the history of Ghana, we have signed an agreement with Party A or B to give them our votes in exchange for a feasible roadmap and prosperity and a better Ghana. And if they fail to satisfy their part of the agreement, they shall face the consequences therein stated. This country does not belong to Akufo-Addo or John Mahama. Let us come together and show them in 2020 that Ghana is the inheritance of every Ghanaian, and we shall do whatever it takes to protect it. Yes. I thank you all for coming, and I want to say to you that all of us here today will be seen by hundreds of thousands of people across the world. When Kwame Nkrumah and others met here in the UK, nobody heard of it, just the people who were around. Today, we are broadcasting live on social media, and we are reaching thousands of people. We are a fortunate generation, and if we work hard with the technology that we have, we are going to write our names in the history books before we die. I want to say a very big thank you to all those who have spent precious time putting together the various groups and ensuring that they are part of the history that we are about to make. Long live TPP, long live Ghana, God bless our homeland Ghana, and make us great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Kwame. Thank you so much. Question time. Any question that you have? We have a patriotic song. Arise for the youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us unite. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building a fatherland. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building a motherland.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, A+. I just have a few contributions to make. But before I do that, I just want to tell all of you, I've had a discussion with A+ on this already. I am part of a group called the Convention of Nkrumahist. And our aim is to bring all Nkrumahis together. And we'll be having a conference at Lewisham Village on the 28th of September. And you are all invited. I've asked A+ if you'll be able to come down and be part of it. The Convention of Nkrumahis was originally started in the US. And they had a convention, I think, in Canada, either last year or the year before. And my good friend Ade Sawyer here introduced me to it. And we've been having discussions, and almost everything is ready for the conference, and I'll be putting it on the platform. Yeah, well, it's been said that when the student is ready, the master will appear. And I think we are seeing that now. We are in a situation where the future of our young people are at stake. I'm 69 years old. My dad died at 74. I don't know how long I've got to live, but it is important that the deplorable state of our politics is arrested. I take issue with just one thing, but I think A+ knows what he's doing. He says he has no intention of leading a political party. But what is politics? Politics is allocation of resources. Unless you grab power, you can't change anything. Yeah. So that is very key. So this group has to look at the long term. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time. We are in a situation where we have a group of people called NDC and PP. They are not two parties, they are just one party. And they divided themselves into two and swindling the state. One of the reasons why I decided to reach out to A+ is that I've been following his work for the past couple of years or so. And when he started criticizing the government of the NPP, he used to say things like, oh, Nana is a good man, he doesn't know anything about it. And I don't think so. The guy is part of the criminality that is involved in the country. Otherwise, how can all these things be going on and you appear to be aloof? We have a situation where after 62 years, we're not building a cathedral. After 62 years of independence, we have the American embassy establishing a base in Osage Falls, Ghana. Where are we heading to? The next thing we'll have Boko Haram and all these things attacking us. That is the root cause of it. So to the young people of Ghana, you have to rise up. You have no choice. You really, really have to stand up and defend the motherland because your future is being mortgaged. Like I said, politics is basically a allocation of resources, so we have to revisit what you said again. But when the poor has got nothing to eat, they'll eat the rich. And very soon, the revolution, the so-called revolution that happened on the Jato, the next one, the People's Revolution, will make Jato's one look like a tea party. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I like
All right, thank you very much. My name is Samuel. I want to ask some few questions. My first question is the TPP a pressure group or a lobbyist group? If it is, are they not going to take an undue advantage of our political establishment? That's the first question. In the future, because this is a means to an end. So if it's a pressure group that is going to pressure the decision-making processes of our country, are they not in future going to take advantage? We have in other countries like here, we have lobbyists that lobby various political parties for their own business interest and the like, and America the same. Are we trying to create a system, a lobbyist group, that eventually are going to influence the political system and establishment of our country because we have the numbers? And two, we're talking about all the problems that are going on in Ghana. Our problems are multifaceted. Not only in Ghana. Ghana is not exclusive. We have in the entire continent of Africa, over the years, we have allowed the Western influence to disadvantage our progress. And the reason for that is because we have not well educated our people. I think he made mention to those things. We have not educated our population enough to negotiate properly in the world stage, on the world stage. And also, we want to develop our country. We are at the moment, the educational system we have is not training people, giving them the skills that are needed to compete on the world stage. What are we, this particular group, TPP, what are we going to do? Because I want to be part of it, but I want to make sure that I understand what it actually is, because you said a lot of things, but I want to be sure.
Okay. We take 3 questions. Kwame answer them, then we come back. So the next.
Right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Marie Amwakwa-Boedu. First of all, I want to say a massive congratulations to Kwame A+. Your vision is a laudable vision. When I was coming, I was expecting, Ghanaians in the UK to be here, because I believe that many of us share your vision. My question to you is that many of us have set up organizations here in the UK with the same viewpoint or standpoint as yourself or as TPP. Now, in order for all of us to succeed with the same viewpoint, we have to be able to collaborate. So my question to you is TPP willing to collaborate with organizations here in the United Kingdom so that together we'll be powerful to achieve this success? Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you very much. My name is Israel Dankwa. Israel Dankwa. Okay. So I came here to ask few questions about TPP, and directly I'll go ahead. When Mr. A+, you were talking about TPP, on my way, I was here to advocate that we have to form a political party, which I know that you've heard this over and over again. Now, my father here also mentioned that in order for us to effect this change, we have to look into it again. Why am I saying this? You have an idea. You've given birth to a child, okay? And you care so much about the child. And then we are giving that child to someone else to take care of the child who does not care about the child. So we are saying NDC and MPP does not care about our mother Ghana. And then we care. And then we are saying that, okay, we care, but you just take control and we'll be directing you what to do. In other sense, this is what we are trying to say. Exactly. We are giving, like here in the UK, you get foster parent. So maybe you're busy, it's, oh, take care of my son for me. You'll be at work, but still you are not safe because the child is not with you. But Ghana needs to be safe. And we are saying that if TPP wholeheartedly wants to change the country, then let's take power. One. Then we can control it. Then we can put right people at right places. Then we can actually like monitor and evaluate everything, because this is something we are all passionate about here. That's just by the way. Yes.
More questions here. When you finish, you start here. All right, thank you.
Okay, so the first question was about whether we are not going to turn into a political party. And the next question was why don't we want to turn into, why are we not taking power? Now, as for Uncle's contribution, that was a contribution. And he was also talking about why are we not taking power. So now the thing is a bit confusing. One group is scared that we are going to turn into a political party. And the next question that came is saying that if we want to be strong, we have to turn into a party. So now let me say that. No, I get yours. No, I get you. I'm talking about my brother, yes. Form a party to take power. Good. I get that. I get that one. The reason is everyone is tired of NDC. I get you. Okay, so let's do it like this. If you give Ghana to me today to run, I won't take it. Yes. If you give Ghana to me today, I sleep, I wake up, and they say, you are the president. I say, I'm not I've resigned. Immediately, I wake up, I resign. Because that country is a country that has been messed up for a certain period. Now, what we can do is to get in there. We are looking for many of you to come as independent candidates to parliament. We want to support you. If we have TPP La Paz, TPP Achimota. So why can't we bring any of you and say, look, this is our candidate for this place? If we have 10 people in parliament in 2020, that parliament will be hot. Let's get in there like that. My brother, if they give Ghana to me and you, we will feel. The thing is messed up. You understand? So we shouldn't pretend as if today they just get up and say, we should run Ghana. It will be very difficult because the same people will sabotage us. Now, we have to get into parliament first. It is not because we don't believe in ourselves, but what we want is not power. In fact, we do not need only power to be able to change. Mindsets of the people is also very important. At what time do we get to work? What kind of advocacies are we doing? So yes, Roman Catholic Church began as a prayer group. I can bet my last coin on that. I'm sure one person got up and said, look, let's start praying, and the other one joined, another one joined, and they became Catholic Church that we see today. Same as a Methodist, same as whatever. So let's start from somewhere. TPP is a pressure group. We are advocating for good governance. We are putting pressure on our leaders to do the right thing. We are demanding value for votes. But it comes with terms and conditions. If I have to elaborate on that, it will be long. That's why I left it there for question time. Now, the terms and conditions are such that if I have 2 million votes and you have 3 million, that is a coalition. And every coalition must sign an agreement. David Cameron and Nick Clegg signed a coalition agreement here. So then I can say that, okay, if you want us to give you our 3 million votes, I want Abeiku Santana to be the Deputy Minister for Tourism, because that's what he's doing in Ghana. He understands tourism. I want us to have this man here. We are advocating for a 20-year development plan. And you think we are going to leave the National Development Planning Commission for the same party that we are? We are going to put our people in there. We want to oversee, we want to supervise it. We want to ensure that it is done. So I said, let us share power with them. Now, you will be there in power. You are ruling the country. But we must be involved. It is our lives. I keep telling people that I'm not even running for assemblyman. I don't want to go to parliament. I'm not running for anything. However, I want to sit home and be able to tell the president that, look, TPP people, we don't want this man who stole money here that you have reassigned here. If you are going to put that same man, anybody in Ghana, when they sack you, your punishment is that they give you another position. It doesn't. So we have to be in charge. We have to, for now, be a pressure group. Get our people independent-minded, because Akufo-Addo brings something to parliament. NDC, they don't read. It's from Akufo-Addo. No, we won't do. They don't want to know. If NDC is in power, John Mahama brings something to parliament. They don't want to. No, we don't want. The only time they agree is when it's about their salary. They want all of them, yes. So, now let's get independent-minded people in parliament. Let Abeiku go. Let Mandy go. Let's get people who go and listen to the issues and tell us based on how the issues are, not because of their party affiliations. And the other question was about collaboration, which is very, very important. I have had too many collaborations. My uncle here called me. I said, I'm scared. Because as I am here, the fact of the matter is that if I want money, this is too long, like I said. Look, this thing is too powerful. The place that I've got into with TPP, if I say I don't want to do TPP again, or I want to find a way to turn around and join one party, I'll make plenty money. But my conscience, it is a matter of principle. I don't know about the other group that we are going to join, how they are thinking. And so, TPP UK has an executive that is registering TPP UK here as an organization. Even when they were doing their selection of interim executives, I said, I don't want to be part. We have to understand the people that we are bringing to avoid a situation where we are going to bring to a group that is going to destroy all this thing that we are, all the time that you have spent coming here. So anybody that wants to join TPP is very welcome. However, we cannot waste this man's time coming to sit here all day, and another group comes in and they come and destroy everything that we have done. They have to understand what TPP is about. And also, we don't want a situation where people come in and tomorrow they're going to organize a press conference. They turn on Facebook Live. Right now, it's just one Ghana data. You are gone. TPP no ye film. TPP does not merge. We swallow. Everybody is welcome. You are coming to join TPP. The other day, some people call me from Western Region. They say the whole fancy dress, Western Region. I say, hey, there are too many. Let them come one by one. Hey, all of them, when they move, there's a big hole that is going to come there. Come one by one. I know myself. I don't know the other people. As for me, I have put myself in a very tight corner where it makes it difficult for me to go. Now, even if somebody wants to dash me Benz, it will be difficult for me to take. I don't know about the other people. So we have to be very cautious. Yes.
Thank you. I should speak English. That's fine. That's fine, Uncle. All right. That's fine. That's fine. I suppose. Okay. I suppose what I'm trying to say, Kwame, is that the problem or the issue we have as a society, a Ghanaian society, is that we are too divided. That's the message I'm trying to drive home. We are too divided. Now, in order for you to succeed with your vision, in order for some of us here who have also kind of started organizations sharing the same viewpoint to all succeed as one voice, we must find a common ground of uniting. So as I'm speaking to you now, let me give a little background. A few months ago, our president was in Canada and had made some very interesting comments about Ghanaian women. As a result of that, I have started Ghana Diaspora Women. It is growing. We also have chapters around the world because we're preaching the same message that you are preaching, that it's about time that us women also arise and contribute towards nation building. There are other pressure groups here in the UK as well as other parts of the world. Now, I'm sure that you do acknowledge the fact that if your vision is to succeed and grow, the diaspora has a very important part to play, which is why you're here today anyway, to speak to us. So my question to TPP, not to yourself directly, but to your team here, is that are they willing to meet the heads of all these other various pressure groups in the UK for all of us to sit down? Because just yesterday, I started reaching out as a result of the contracts for sale situation. I started reaching out to some of our community leaders here for all of us to gather, sit down, have a chat, find solutions to this menace, and see how we can all combat it as Ghanaians and present something to our High Commissioner and so on.
Like I said, there's not a single Ghanaian who can change Ghana. So it is very important that we bring everybody together. All that I'm saying is that if we are serious about building this, we should be careful how we bring. We should ensure who we are bringing. That's just what I'm saying. However, we should do it. We don't want a situation where election time NDC comes and they take this one. That is the problem that Ghana has. NDC comes, they take theirs out, NPP comes, and that is what that's the problem of the Nkrumahs. The Nkrumahs, some of them are in NPP, some of them are in NDC, That is the problem. But we want to unite. If the Nkrumah is, for instance, me, I'm a strong believer in Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah, me, I'm a die-hard Kwame Nkrumah fan. I'm very sorry if you don't believe in Kwame Nkrumah. That's my personal, but it's not a TPP, but I am a strong Nkrumah supporter. But you find people who are in the MPP and they say they are Kwame Nkrumah. You find people who are in NDC, they say they are Kwame Nkrumah. I wish that all of them could unite. But NDC and MPP, they are smart. Divide and rule is the only way, tactics that they use. So let's try, let's bring everybody on board. But let's try and ensure that the people who are coming understand what we are doing. I keep telling people, if you don't trust me, you don't have to join TPP. But if you want a better Ghana, so just start a movement of your own to advocate for a better Ghana. It is not by force that you have to do it through TPP. If you don't trust me, start your own movement. Build a better Ghana. We are all going to heaven, whether through Roman, Catholic, Islam, wherever. We are going to the same heaven.
Okay. Right. Okay. I want to throw more light on what Kwame said. Now, are we a pressure group? Or are we trying to form a political party? I want to expose you to the history of some pressure groups we have in the country, and not even one has survived. Let's come to the Fourth Republic, because that is the recent one. In 1995, a pressure group called AFC, Alliance for Change. I had completed school at that time. They advocated and put pressure on government for the repeal of a tax, policy called value-added tax. Do you know the proponents of the AFC? Dr. Charles Rekubrobe, Nana Adodanko Ekufuado, Victor Newman, Akoto Ampao, Kandapa. I saw them. And they introduced Kumi Preko demonstration that this tax is obnoxious. It's going to kill us. And truly, too, at that time, Ghanaians were suffering. So they listened to them. And they came in their numbers, demonstrated against the introduction of value-added tax. People even died out of it. That gave sympathy that this pressure group was of a good cause. It is fighting for us. Has VAT been repealed? The very people who fought for the introduction of VAT in 1995 have increased it from 15% at that time. Today, VAT is 17.5%. Look, let us not deceive ourselves. If this group is formed on political lines, it will collapse. Now, wait a minute. What inspired me is the fact that it's non-political. What inspired me is the fact that the group is non-political. So we don't have a political interest, but we have the people's interest. Now, let me give you another pressure group that did not survive. CJA, Committee for Joint Action. It was a pressure group during Kufuor's era. Kwesi Pratt, the Ahoys, and even the CJA members, some of them became ministers, like Fifi Kwete, Felix Ofosukwache, and the rest. Now, they had a political agenda. So the moment you win power, it defeats the purpose for which you set up there. Let's go to a recent one, Occupy Ghana. That was a pressure group during NDC time. Key leaders are Sankuma. Key leaders are, what's the name of Deputy Minister for Communication? Georgianda. Today, they are in government. So please, the history of pressure groups that we have in Ghana, they don't survive when they metamorphose into a political apparatchiki. Now, what inspired me is the fact that we can come from even our individual political parties and challenge policies and programs introduced by a party that no. And that is what he's saying, that we must have a collective bargaining agreement. That is what the Trade Union Congress is supposed or ought to be, as various trade association groups come together. Today, they have politicized the Trade Union Congress, and leaders of the TUC cannot fight for equal or fair wages for their members. Why is it that we have Trade Union Congress and we go and form Fair Wages and Salary Commission? Why is it that we have Trade Union Congress and yet they sit down for public servants who have worked for 35 years will go with just a lump sum of money, and politicians who will work in parliament for 4 years will take a huge ex gratia? Why? Because the heads at TUC have been also what? Politicized. Because you find members of the TUC who are serving as board members, board chairman, board of directors of government state-owned institutions. Therefore, they cannot boldly come out to fight for the collective interest of the trade union. So let us be careful. Let us be careful not to turn this, movement into a political party. Like he said, some of us may have our own interest, and politicians will infiltrate and begin to divide us. Now, when our leaders say, let's go this way, some say, no, we don't. And we'll begin to have breakaways. We are a pressure group. We are non-political. We are a movement. We are people, of different professional backgrounds coming together to demand sustainable, better, people-oriented programs that will take our country forward. So let us not, be in any ambiguity of, do we want power? No, we want to bring change. And the change must start from somewhere. And this is the start. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Agnes Aqua from Milton Keynes. I also happen to be here by accidentally. I've been in Milton Keynes for about 15 years, and I've been into organizations. I've organized a lot of groups and associations. And not long, I decided to organize a talk show for the community, because I realize the Ghanaian community, we are not one. Even churches, some of us are not one, and then the associations. And there are lots of group of associations or organizations that are trying to help people back home. We have some schools without chairs. We have children sitting on the floor. It's so sad. We have hospitals with mothers lying on the floor. It's been difficult with childbirth. I have people in Milton Keynes trying to organize beds for especially mothers to give birth and etc. But I ask myself, who are responsible for all these things? Like this project that I've come to meet, it's a very good thing. There was a meeting we had, and they were saying they want us to build a school for a community. And I asked myself, why do we have to contribute here to build a school in our country? Who are responsible to get schools for the children? Who are responsible for the children to have seats, tables to sit on, and these books and everything? But then, for us to organize or contribute and get something back home, and there's nobody there to be in charge, to make sure the chairs are going to the children, to make sure the tables are going to the children. And when we organize beds for the hospitals as well, and the nurses or whoever are in charge are not helping, then we are wasting our time. So most of we, the Ghanaians or our people, need, education. We need to educate a lot of people. So this project is a very good thing. So in our communities, please let us help educate. Does it? And also, if you can form a team, like we are here. We are here. You can form a team. As I'm here, I will take it to my community. To Milton Keynes. No. Wherever you also are, you can also take yours there. Thank you very much.
Guys, please, questions, brief. Question, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Plas, you mentioned, my question actually borders on, you said Ghana is tired of both NDC and MPP. So now my question borders mostly on who is Ghana ready for now? If Ghana is tired of both NDC and MPP, then who is Ghana not tired of? Because it seems that we have only two options. Now, You mentioned something about power sharing, and that's a very good point because you said, at least for now, we can start with power sharing. What is at the end? I want to know. And then you said, okay, so practically, supposing come 2020 or prior to the elections, TPP goes in with this proposal to NDC and MPP, and then both of them, I mean, nicely accepts our proposal. Then what are going to be the modalities? How is TPP going to communicate? Who is TPP going to support? So this is very, that's where the ambiguity for me stands, and I would like to know. And then also, one last one, please. This is actually for you. You know, TPP is now formed, yeah? And you have a Facebook account, good. I've realized that since you started this, since last year, or you started it yourself, with live videos and, you know, a whole lot of publications on your private wall, I would want to know that going forward, should we potential members of TPP, as I stand here, I'm a potential member of TPP, but I would like to know, should some of us take everything that you say on your private Facebook account as the word of TPP or as Kwame A Plus's own word? Yeah.
Congratulations, Kwame, for this good work and everybody here. For me being here, it means I have a passion to, you know, to join this and make an impact. I have only one question. The question is this project legal? If yes, what are the measures that are being in place in case we have hooligans wearing these T-shirts, causing commotion, vandalizing things somewhere in the name of TPP, just to tarnish the image of the group? What are you going to do about that? That's it.
Okay, so as for the hooligans wearing our T-shirt, NDC and MPP will do it. They will go and print some of our T-shirts and wear it and take photos and come and put it on social media. They will even go and wear some and go and fight. The good thing is that most people don't understand why Donald Trump is always tweeting. That's the new world order. Everybody has a media on their phone, so everybody can say something. So if you are fortunate to have many followers, you must always respond and give them the facts. That's how you build the cult. So we will always try as much as possible to defend some of these things. And if indeed it is our people, we will not be like NDC and MPP, who shield their people, who sit down and watch their people go into a courtroom and go and chase a judge out, and they sit down and watch because they are their people. We will deal with them. They will send their people into our midst, but we will handle that. Also, on social media stuff, this whole thing, when I was registering TPP, I'm dealing with yours and I go here. TPP is a registered organization in Ghana, registered with, because most of you want to bring stuff to schools and hospitals in Ghana. We have even registered with the social welfare in Ghana. So TPP is registered, fully registered in Ghana. And like he was saying, I had to hide and do this whole thing. I've been working on this on the low. Even those that I had to bring on board, they didn't know, they didn't understand it. But you didn't want a situation where you'll be hitting blocks because they know what you are going to do. If you have read The Art of War, you know how to approach issues. All of this we are doing is a huge battle that we are into. So we had to be very tactical about it. So that is for the legal bit. And our social media handles are available now. Initially, I had to use my Facebook to do everything. But now we have a team that is handling TPP, Facebook, TPP, Instagram. I don't know if you have seen them, but our Facebook page has grown very fast. We have quite a chunk of followers on there. And we are also developing our own app, where we will be doing live broadcasts. Like when we're having an event like this, everybody who goes on the app can watch it live, or you can watch recorded versions of the event. So when our app is ready, that's how we are going to register people, and that is where every information about TPP must go. But you know that Donald Trump has saved the Republican Party a lot, whether they like it or not. So Ghanaians are the kind of people, the same people who said Akufo-Addo, he's too strong, he's so radical. The same people say he's weak. That man, he's a weak man. When Akufo-Addo came first, it was, I believe in Ghana. I am the best man for Ghana. I can do this. He realized that Ghanaians don't want him. So now he changed to the battle is the Lord's. Asempape biamaka, oh yeah, oh yeah. Then Ghanaians said, let's give him power. Ghanaians, people, they will turn you into the kind of person they want. They will remold you before they give you power. The fortunate thing is that we are not looking for power. So we are going to be very radical. We are going to be very strong. I'm not asking for your votes. So I'm going to be very strong. You can't remold me. We have to, what I say on my Facebook, whether they like it or not, the agenda of TPP is very clear. Go to your area, demand value for votes. It is very simple. So it's not about me. Just go to where you live. I live at MF's estate. My children, go to God be the glory. They will never go to free school. I have never seen street lights go off in my estate. Why am I fighting for people outside my estate? I said, go to your own area where you don't have light. And when anybody comes there to campaign, demand electricity before you vote for them. Demand water. So it's not about what I do on my Facebook, but it is, and making the people understand that Kwame A Plus is one person. TPP is a huge organization. If you don't like me, and because of that, you don't want to demand electricity and water in your area, go and sleep in the darkness.
So Kwame, what he said, I'm going to repeat it again. So the things that you say on Facebook, and I support the question that he asked, is it an individual, some of the things, is it an individual you or for all of us?
It will be very difficult to call Ghanaians and say, please, we are coming to separate it. Look, I don't know, I don't want to offend those who don't believe in Jesus Christ, like this man sitting here. However, when Jesus Christ was sitting with his people around the table, he said something and 70 of them left. And he asked Peter, are you also leaving? He said, where do I have to go? So people misquoting you and misunderstanding you is something that we don't have to focus on. Go to your area and demand development. What I say on my Facebook, and you people, TPP people, especially UK people, you have to be fair to me. I've done you a huge favor. It is what I say on my Facebook that has brought what we are doing here today. And so you have to, instead of paying me for all the work that I've done for you. And these are the two people who want to turn me into the new Akufo-Addo. They want the battle to be the Lord's before. No, we cannot make the battle the Lord. The battle must be for the people themselves. Thank you.
No, Fabi, listen. You know some of the things I'm going to make an example, yeah? When you mentioned Dr. Anya's name on last week, Saturday, today's week, like, what's his name? Gabby is asking you to come back. Then tell me why you sacked Dr. Anya. That was is it an individual you or it was all of us?
I feel very, it feels very unfortunate when you have a leader like me. When you have a leader like me who has the opportunity to sneak and meet somebody who can give me an oil well, and I come back and tell you guys that, listen, I met this guy, and this is what he said. Are you not happy? I could meet Gabi and we could make our own deal. How did you know? I told you. And I'm telling you that I met Kennedy Japan a day before I came here, and we had a long talk. He's my friend, he's my whatever. And I'm telling you, you are fortunate. I can meet anybody in Ghana and I won't tell you. But I want this organization to be as transparent as possible. I don't want anybody to meet me at four seasons in one restaurant with one big politician and say, hey, is this not our TPP? But I came, I said, listen, I met this guy yesterday. And he said I'd come back to the party. And I said to him that if you want me to come back, give us a 20-year development plan. End ex gratia. Give us a new constitution. Is that not the same thing we are fighting for?
No, yeah. Another question? No, I haven't asked any question yet. Yeah. My name is Rocky. Hello, my name is Rocky. It's a short one. It's a suggestion or what I want to say is TPP, we need votes. It's votes that we need. Because if we have a lot of people and we don't have the vote or we are not registered on the EC, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. Because what I want to say is, yeah, they need to be registered. With this ROPA issue, if you put pressure on EC to implement this ROPA so that can vote, because if we don't have votes, all that we're doing here is useless. But we have people back home, but you see,
yeah, my name is Akisi Badek. I would like to emphasize on what the Osofu said about the powers that be. Okay, now, we cannot rule out that there are some powers behind these politicians. And if TPP is going to sit down with these same politicians and make an agreement, and unless, of course, TPP says we are going to be independent of the IMF, and Ghana is not going to borrow money from any country, and we are going to depend solely on our natural resources, because the moment you go in for a loan, but the IMF didn't steal the money. No, they didn't steal the money. But the moment you go in for a loan, unless, of course, you are not going to collect the loan, there are conditions attached.
So you negotiate.
That is it. You see, the point is that you go and negotiate. In the first place, why did you go in for the loan? You see, the point is that these people, they come in for the loan to hijack your economy. So no matter how you negotiate, they have a way. It's like when they were talking, he said about security. The leader of TPP, the leader of TPP now, what he has started, it is bitter in the mouths of all the politicians. And they will find a way, since he is a snake, they will find a way of cutting his head to collapse the nation. So now we shouldn't play with security. We should dwell on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Susie Kondia. Hello everyone, my name is Susie Kondia. I've followed TPP for a while now, and I'm impressed by their vision, and I'm here to support and be part of it. But as Abeiku aforementioned, there has been a lot of pressure groups who have been and gone. Many of them have been intimidated to extinction. Some have withered away. Others are dead and gone. So my question is, what has TPP put in place? What measures have you got to make sure that this movement is sustainable, it's long-standing and unshakable, and it's not going to die just as others have been? Thank you.
Thank you so much. It seems we are all going to a particular destination, but we are deviating the course at the moment. What, based on my understanding, based on your speech, I understand based on also the logo of the organization, is talking about Ghana and the problems in Ghana in general. Whilst our sister was talking, she mentioned a particular issue regarding our president who made a statement regarding women. That's why she started a women diaspora movement. So based on my understanding on this particular organization, it means this TPP is actually concerning a whole problem of Ghana that our politicians are not looking out for. They are just misbehaving, and we want to put them on track. So we are not political party. We are a movement pressure organization that we want to show them that this is the way to go, and so this is how things must be done. So I agree, let whoever movement you have already opened up, or if you already have organization, all of them, as you said, we don't emerge, we swallow. So all of you come together. If you are hearing me on the record, Facebook Live, whoever organization you are, come together with us. Let's drive our nation Ghana forward so that we will have one agenda. I quite remember Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams made mention, he had an interview with somebody, I've forgotten the name, and yes, and then he made mention that Ghana need a policy, a 20-year plan. And this is national plan, national agenda, and this is what you spoke about 3 days ago. And I believe this is a good plan. So this is not one side that Ghana, we are holding one arm, we want to correct that arm. It's the whole from north to south that we want to solve the problem. So let's move it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Edwin. Just a quick question. I mean, you did mention when we were talking about we give a copy of whatever agenda to Russia, America. What for? 70 years, we're all capable. We should be able to deal with ourselves among ourselves. No, please. No, please. 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 I'm talking. Sir, I'm talking. Yes, exactly. Sir, thank you. We must be able to deal with ourselves for ourselves. We've had how many coups? We've had how many leaders who think they can save Ghana? Who was the, somebody Jesus? I'm not going to say the name. But all of this has happened. And yet, we are backward. We killed 8 generals. And the thing they did, combined, one politician has done worse than even that 40 years after that Dangwen. We draw blood for nothing. The question I'm asking is, what is Ghana's fundamental problem? We need to identify the cause. And when you deal with the cause, not the symptoms, you solve the problem. And at the moment, I just talk about so many things in every issue. People must identify. When you deal with the cause, you solve the problem. There is a great myth, and I'm just going to go through it, by Hercules. One of the tasks he had, he went to attack the snake. As you probably know, one of the greatest type of Hercules. He cut the snake head off, he grew 3 times. Cut another one off, he grew 3 times. And the voice came to him, the inner intuition. When you cut by the stem, then you kill it. The question is, we need to identify the stem, the problem, the root of the problem, and kill it. Education is a very good thing. You mentioned that Akufo-Addo, people educated Akufo-Addo, he was too radical. Well, how are the Ghanaian people going to also educate us? What we're doing that we are also too radical. The key point is, okay, you're going to answer this. The key point is that we need to find the cause of our problem, educate our people to the cause of our problem, and deal with our problem. And when people talk about somebody else will solve your problem, my brother, you can wait 10,000 years. It won't come. That, I put my life on it, and I promise you. Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, sorry. You know what? There's after party, yeah? We're going to Gold Coast. So when we go there, because our time is running up, we have to go. I'll take a few, then he will make his comment, then we go, please.
My name is Ade Sawyer. I want to thank my good friend, Alaji Amevo, for inviting me here. I didn't know that there was a movement going on. And I must say that I commend the enthusiasm of the young people gathered here. And what I think that you are doing is a good thing. But I have a little problem about it. And that problem is that in trying to set up a community organization or a pressure group or whatever you want to call it, it should not negate people who join your group from belonging to other political parties, because it is only when people have political power that they are able to change things. You can't change things by being a protest movement. You can shout, you can go onto the streets, you can demonstrate, you can do whatever it is that you want to do. But unless you have political power, all those ideas that you have in your mind will just be in your mind. So I want you all to go and think again that exactly what do you want to do and what do you want to achieve. Organizations evolve. They may start with a glorious idea, but they change as things change. Leaders in organizations evolve. If I would give the classic example of the CPP, that when Kwame Nkrumah joined, he joined to serve the people who he met in the CPP. But as the youth around there saw how dynamic he was, how he had put his powers of organization to use, they were able to convince him to actually come and lead what was to be a youth movement. But there were people there who said that we can't just leave this as a youth movement. If we are going to form a movement and we are going to inspire people, then really we are about campaigning for independence. And that is how the CPP was formed. So if TPP is going to remain, then you'd have to think through your ideas. I'm sorry, that it cannot just remain a nebulous movement. And you would also have to collaborate with people, because there will be people who infiltrate you on a daily basis if you are targeted as a leader. But what you got to be sure is that the ideals and the vision that you set for the organization should be a vision that is for the good for Ghana and should aim that you are going to take power in Ghana. Thank you.
Sorry, guys, our time is up, so no more.
Well, my name is Chief Osei. I work with ABN TV and ABN Radio. My question is very simple. It goes to Abeiku Santana, like I said. For some years ago, I saw him with the NDC. I'm now seeing him with Uncle A+. I just want to find out, is he a member of TPP? I know. No, but I haven't. No, I understand, but you know he also have huge followers. He's also a celebrity. I just want, not to say, but I just want to also know if you understand me, if he's also in line with the agenda and the... yeah. And also, next year, 2020 is election time. I just want to find out, being a pressure group, what are the measures that we've put in place that gets into election? At least our voices can also be heard. You understand? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Finally, I'll be very quick about my question. My name is Mina. Listening to my daddy who was speaking previously about how you're implementing your procedures and how you have to get someone who's in power to help you for us to be able to, I'll say, how do I even put it? For us to be able to penetrate through to the government. I'm also asking a question here. So after getting all these problems together, finding out the root causes of what to be done, how are we going to present this to the government, or let's say the sitting president? How are we going to resolve this? Is there a representative in place who would be probably arranging to meet the parliament or being in sections? Is there a meeting in place? How is this going to go? Is that all? Quick one. Okay, there's another platform on WhatsApp, which is TPP. Is that really active? Yeah, there is. UK. Yes, I got this notification on Facebook, which is WhatsApp, but then it's a dead platform. There's nothing happening. So, okay. Okay, all right. Thank you. Last one.